So the Tower 2K is sponsored to you by Let's Talk. Now, if Miss Letter would please unblock my friend. Hey, we can go there and let her do her job. Please follow my friend. Let's talk, y'all. This is the best.
To tell you what happened yesterday. Not come in the church yesterday, my Uber to the church, they stopped me at the door. They acted as if the President of the United States has come to the church. I'm telling you, everything was secured down. They had security and everything. Why did they deny me coming to the church? For safety reasons. But then they allowed this man to get up in the pulpit, mama, and address the world from my church.
I said, no, I'm not going to help you out. I'm going to give you grace because I got to put something in you that will keep you coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. The one on your screen back there, little Fruit Loops. She gets it, Apostle Sin goes to take up the offering, mama. And then she hollers out, oh, and I'm grateful for Bishop Fred Matthews being in our midst today. Would you like to say anything? He gets in the pulpit and talks about addressing the world and how, just a whole bunch of stuff, and then gives her $100.
And so I thank God. Grateful for the Bishop Fred Matthews being in our presence today. You want to say anything? Can you give me? Is that one? Yeah, welcome, Bishop Matthews.
After our Sunday services and different things, usually Sunday night, I'll just go and kind of lay in the presence of the Lord on the altar and just thank God if souls were saved or whatever he did on that day. And I was thinking about
that y'all claim to be. No shade. You're my pastor. You don't know this fat, sloppy, ugly, Cookie Monster built man from a can of paint. You didn't know him until I introduced him to you. Let's talk about real facts.
Jroc's ultimate betrayal, turned away from his own church. Now, in today's explosive video, we break down the emotional fallout after content creator and former church member Jroc claimed he was turned away from attending church service, his own church, only to find out that the Bishop Fred Matthews, the very man that he's at the center of Jroc's allegation, was reportedly front row and center at the same church. Now, let's be real. Out of all the congregations in the world, why would the Bishop Matthews show up there? And even more shocking, why did Jroc's own apostle allow him to take the pulpit and raise an offering and address the room like nothing ever happened? In this recap, we'll dive into the Jroc's real-time reaction, the pastor confusing public statement, and what Fred Matthews allegedly said to the congregations, viewers' reaction and growing concerns from the online faith community, and it's this spiritual warfare or just straight up mess. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Let's Talk Blog 2. This video is for commentary and discussion purposes only. We do not condone bullying, harassment, or the spread of misinformation. All parties mentioned are innocent until proven guilty, and the commentary bases on public shared content and statements. Some clips and material fall under fair use and purposes such as critique, criticism, and news reporting. Full credit is to the original content.
I've seen her do probably one time. She went in the side door of the church, right? They came to me and said, at this time, by the time she pulled up, my Uber was turning in. So as I walked on the other side of the gate of the church. Brandon Boyd walks up to me and said, Pastor wants to have a word with you. I said, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to have no conversation with her. I'm good. So I get in the Uber and I leave. So I get to Pride and I'm taking pictures of people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get on the stage and I twerk with Big Frida. No shade to anybody, but Big Frida did post me on her page today, on her story. You girls cannot sit with me. Don't hate, appreciate it, okay? But after that, I come home and I'm like, okay. Well, not after that, but I went downtown to Broadway and stuff. But after I got home, I was like, okay, let's go live. Let's talk to the people. And I get on live, y'all, and let me show y'all what I see. So the church tried to be slick. Now, let me tell y'all, for the people that was on here last night, y'all know that video was on the Love Center South page, right? They deleted it from the church's page. They deleted that video, the live from church yesterday, off of that page. But guess what? I'm always going to be 2 steps ahead of anybody. Remember that. Remember that. I'm always going to be 2 steps ahead of anybody. So if you focus your attention to the screen, please let me know if y'all can hear. Do not leave. You got to watch this to pay attention to what's coming next in my story. You have to watch this.
This has been an amazing Sunday. I keep telling y'all, I'm just inviting y'all out to hear me preach to my son, because God is doing some amazing things. I think God can do more in your suffering than he can do in your victory. Because in your victory we have...
Pay attention to this. Don't miss nothing.
I talk about Paul when he said, God, help me out here.
I wish I could zoom in. Hold on.
And God said, no.
I can. Boom.
I'm not
Ate
gonna
that.
I'm going to give you grace. Because I got to put something in you that will keep you coming back to me. And so I thank God.
Can y'all hear?
Listen, it is time to give.
Can y'all hear?
It's giving time in the house. Y'all know that what is wrong with the saints of God tonight?
Can y'all hear it?
Y'all full? Y'all real full? Let me see how full you are. Somebody open up your mouth and shout glory.
Church starts at 5 p.m. When I got there, the assistant pastor immediately walked up to me, the executive pastor, whatever y'all call him, walked up to me and told me, you know we can't have you come for safety reasons, Jroc. We'll have to ask you to leave. Cool. I didn't hesitate, didn't give a reaction. I just simply called my Uber. I called my Uber and I went and I stood to the side to wait because I could see they wasn't letting me inside the building, even though it's scorching hot out here. And then I know I was in the military and all these different types of things that y'all want to say, but hell, it was hot and I had on a very nice outfit, no shade. I was bad to the bone, baby. She told you go to sleep and now she over there. So, what do we make of this situation? Is it a money scheme? Because he said God told him to come and sing. What if she didn't even give him the opportunity to talk? Would God have still said that? Why just all of a sudden on this said Sunday, you decided to show up to the Love Center South out of all the many churches you could have attended on Sunday? You came to your alleged church. You showed up to my church after me saying every single day for the last 7 days that I was going to my church. We talked about this same situation every single day. And you know what's crazy? I actually did what I said I was going to do. I went to all the churches but yours. No shade. I gave you respect and courtesy. I did not come to your church on no rah-rah. But you decide to come to my church. And it's all a setup. Y'all can't fool me. And I don't care who's listening or who's watching. Go back and say what I said. Y'all can't fool me. This wasn't no I just randomly came to stop by y'all church to give $100. You could have put that in the offering bucket. Y'all know how bad it bothers me to know that my church leader, because I can't even just blame it on the church, and I can't just, because you know people love to say that y'all, because that congregation stood 10 toes, nobody clapped. Shall we replay the video? Hold on.
Is that? Y'all welcome Bishop Matthews.
It wasn't a clap in the room. Y'all welcome Bishop Matthews. They didn't give that. The congregation said, no ma'am. What happened? Oh yeah, he could have sent her a cash app. Surely could have. But you decided to come. Did y'all listen to the part where he said, I wanted to tell the world? You knew you was coming to talk. You knew for a fact you was coming to that church to speak because God told you all these many, many, many things. God just told you 1,000,012. Every single thing you said, God said it. God told me. God said it. God told me. God said it. God told me. God said it and God told me. God said it. I believe. God said it. I believe. God said it. I believe. God said it. God said it. God said it. God said, God said, it's not a good look. I'm sorry. Y'all should have known better to do some shit like that with me. It's not a good look, babies. This is really, really low. This is low. This is a knocker right here, Bookie. This one right here is wow. I don't know what to say in this situation. I just don't know what to do. But you know, the Bible does say, in all thy getting, get an understanding. So we must get an understanding before we assume anything. So we will need to be speaking to the apostle. We will be requesting a session with the apostle. No shade. Because the question is, why in the world was this man allowed the opportunity to stand before the people of God and the congregation that I attend and be able to address the world from your pulpit? Why did this man address the world from his pulpit? Why did this man stand before the people of God where he's the leader at? Why did he come all the way to little old Dickerson Pike, to the church that I attend? Out of all Sundays, this is the first Sunday ever in history of Sundays of me ever being banned from a church. I got banned from the church so that this man could attend. You know how bad that looks?
I'm no type of singer. Sit down just for 1 second. I'm no singer or anything like that. I'm not. I was on a way to our church to pray. Usually after our Sunday services and different things, usually Sunday night I just go and kind of lay in the presence of the Lord on the altar and just thank God if souls were saved or whatever he did on that day. And I was thinking about in the scriptures that there were 10 people that were standing outside of a city gate, had leprosy, and they found out that Jesus was passing by. And they began to cry out, Master, Master, have mercy. Here we are, right here, heal us, and all of that. And then y'all know the scriptures about how Jesus told them, that they were going to be healed. Go show yourself to the priest. And the Bible says, as they went, they were healed. They had to start walking and moving out on it in order to receive what they needed. they go on to say, and I could have just imagined, Apostle, them walking, because you had to take a step of faith and nothing had happened yet. But as they were walking, can you imagine looking at them and looking at one another and seeing with every step God healing what was broken, what was messed up. And 10 were healed, but it was only one that came back and said, you know, I got to thank you. I want to thank you. And because of his grateful spirit, not only did he get healed, but he was made whole. Let me make this make sense. Pastor Apostle Sam Franklin, we talked this week, and I want you to know publicly, I don't really have like private friends and different things like that. Either I'm with you or I'm not with you, you know. But I had hundreds, literally hundreds of preachers and friends and different people in my life just loving on me and different things like that. But when your apostle spoke to me and said, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for your family, I'm praying for your church. Now, I had heard all of that, but then it was a difference when she actually started praying. It was a whole different, it was, I hope I don't get in trouble. You know, y'all probably live streaming or something like that, so please don't nobody kill me. But it was different than any other preacher. Any other preacher. It was different. There was a shift that took place where my healing turned into wholeness. And so as I was coming back, and as I said, it was on our way to Old Hickory Boulevard to Triumphant, the Lord put that in my spirit. Come back and say thank you, because you love on so many people privately. You love on people, and sometimes your strength is poured out, and you look so strong that nobody can see what you need. And so God told me to come here today and to tell you thank you. I love you. You are appreciated. And Love Center South, you have a leader unlike any other. And I want you to make sure that you hold her up in prayer. Hold her up in her leadership. She carries a unique oil that I haven't seen in a very long time. God's hand is with you, and I wanted you to know that I love you publicly. I love you. I could have sent a text message, but I want the whole world to know. I want y'all to know this is a powerful woman of God, and God's hand is on her life. And he told me to tell you, it won't always be like this, but I can't sing, so, you know. So, you know, he getting ready to do all.
I tried to mute the phone and tell my son to be quiet, and I accidentally hit the end button.
Okay.
But these things out here, I apologize, that was my, I was saying that I accidentally hung the phone up. Y'all heard my son in the background. I was trying to get him to be quiet, and I was going to mute the phone to tell him to go to bed, and then I accidentally hit the end button instead of the mute button. Yeah. But Jroc is out here. He's out here. I called him back, and so everybody's back on here. Yeah, so basically, he down. He was just talking about, you know, the part about the church. And
everything he said was foolish, still dumb, still bottom of the barrel, and still it's not gonna stop me. You have the nerve to sit here and say the reason why you won't step down at your role at your church is because y'all won't have no money. So basically what you're telling me is that because you wouldn't have an income as a grown man, you want to keep doing what you're doing in the church. So basically this isn't you even in the church because God led you there. You're doing this because of money.
Well, that's an assumption.
But no, that's what you just said. He just said. Am I lying?
No, he said, I mean, all pastors that are full time, that's their livelihood. They don't have, most of them don't have a plan B if they're full time pastors. They don't have a plan B. All they got is plan A. So, I mean, that's not abnormal for them to think like that, because that's their, you got plan A, you don't have a plan B.
All right. Well, I don't agree with anything he said.
I understand. It's all I'm concerned about. And I'm not, he has admitted it. He is not lying to his wife. His exact words was, I did what you told me to do. I was transparent with her. I had the transparent conversation with her one-on-one. And that's why what happened today happened.
How do I even know that? How do I even know any of that is even true? How do I even know that the lady's even in there?
He's at the hospital.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't know nothing about him being at the hospital. I'm not talking to him. None of this has have a factor to me, and I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but I literally have sat here for 3 days straight, mentally, physically exhausted, pushing for a cause, just for the man that did it to go and confess to his wife, and now she want to kill herself. The kids coming down here, and you think that now you want me just to, okay, now that my wife did this, I'm hurt enough, let's let it go. Absolutely not. It's not just about the wife and the kids. He has a congregation that he's leading. He's not just leading his household, but he's also leading God's people. And no, man, that's not going to ride with me. I'm sorry.
I understand. But do you know this happens all the time with pastors and congregations?
That has nothing to do with me. Yes, I know this happens all the time, and they push it under the altar. They sweep it right up under the rug like it never happened.
But you can't get, that's church folk.
I'm church folk. What are you talking about?
I'm church folk. I'm church folk. The reason I'm able to have these conversations with him is because I know church. I've been to seminary. I've been to school.
So if you know church, then you know he's wrong and he shouldn't be standing in that position.
Yeah. I have not told him that he's right. I have forced this man to be honest with his wife and his kids. He owed her that. I told you that from the very beginning. I know that this is his only livelihood. He should step down. I'm not saying that, this is something that, just let him go forward. I'm just telling you what he stated to me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And so when people say, this is he only doing it for the money. All these pastors only doing it for the money. I mean, that's the reality of it. 99.9% of them are doing it for the money if they're making over 6 figures. And most of them making over 6 figures. And I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, hell, when they call me to a church to preach, I'll be wanting my check. I do it for my check. And I don't have no scandal going on. I tell mine.
So you preach too?
Not like that. No, I'm not like that.
Are you a member of his church?
No, I am a member of his church. If he was a member of his church, I'll tell y'all on the phone because I don't move like that. I don't get down like that. I support you, Jroc.
So how you so close to him?
How do I feel close to him?
No, how are you that close to him? Are y'all friends? Y'all know each other personally?
No. I inboxed him and told him to be honest. I reached out to him because of my experience that I went through. Where I was the wife, so I reached out to him. Be honest with her. Don't lie to her. That's exactly what I said. I don't give a fuck what you tell nobody else. That's exactly what I said. I don't give a fuck what you tell nobody else, but you tell your wife and your kids the truth. You owe her that for her mental and physical health. And I told him, I went through this. I was her. Mine came out in the church while I was sitting there. Yeah, I ain't about that. You can ask anybody that went to watch the Grove back in the day, baby. Church was packed. It was on watch night service. You know how packed the church is on New Year's Eve? That's when mine came out. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, I don't even say from way before this, she's done events for my daughter Sweet 16. I respect her, but anybody in that church that supports him, I'm not gonna be on that phone with, and I'm definitely not gonna be putting you on. I don't move like that. At the end of the day, Jroc, I believe you.
I'm just stuck on one thing though. I'm just really stuck on one thing in this whole entire thing. You don't know this man from Adam to Eve, but he just all of a sudden just answered the phone and stuff for you?
No, I inboxed him. I said, you don't know me. I said, but it's a lot of pastors.
So now y'all talking on the phone?
That was my first time talking to him. When I told him to call me, he called me through Facebook. I said, I don't know his number. He know my number. He know my business number, but he called me through Facebook. She sent me screenshots where he was messaging her through Messenger, and I got those screenshots. And then dealer say, if you approve, I can show it to him. Yeah, you can show it. Because I'm not going to be on the phone with nobody that's at that church that's supporting him. And I'm saying, this is Crystal. And you see on the screenshots where he